Nearly 200 CEOs from companies like JetBlue, Pfizer, and MasterCard, they've signed on to a letter urging Congress to certify Joe Biden's Electoral College win. The letter reads in part this: attempts to thwart or delay this process run counter to the essential tenets of our democracy. It comes ahead of tomorrow's joint session of Congress to certify the results. And right now, the list of Republican lawmakers who have said publicly they will challenge the results now includes 13 senators and several House Republicans. I want to bring in Democratic Senator Chris Van Hollen of Maryland. Senator, thanks for joining us on this. Really appreciate it. Good morning to you. So you got the president tweeting out all morning. Yeah, you as well. You have the president tweeting out all morning, essentially, these baseless claims, giving power that they do not have to the vice president for tomorrow, giving power to David Perdue that he does not have tomorrow. You have folks like Kelly Loeffler now, Senator Ted Cruz joining on to object to the certification of the election results ahead of tomorrow as well. How do you expect tomorrow to play out?
Well, Yasmin, it's good to be with you. And what we're seeing is so reckless. You have the president and these Republican senators essentially taking a flamethrower to our democracy when it comes to public confidence. It's not going to change the election. It could be a very long day. It depends on how many states they decide to challenge. It could be up to 6 states. And we will then have separate votes in the House and the Senate on all of those. At the end of the day, the result will not change. And on January 20th, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will be sworn in. But in this process, they are doing an enormous amount of damage to our democracy by undermining public confidence in the process.
So you said it there, right? The most important thing coming out of what you just said is the results are not going to change. This isn't going to change anything. The efforts of these senators is not going to change anything. That said, do you think after the fact they will be held accountable? And do you think this move is even going to change anything for their constituents, for the Trump base that they so covet?
Well, what we've seen time and again, unfortunately, is Republican senators bending to do Donald Trump's will, to aid and abet in his fraudulent schemes. And to date, they've not been held accountable. And here you have a number of Republican senators like Ted Cruz, like Hawley, who are putting their own personal political ambition over the good of the country. And they want to become the Trump wannabes. They essentially want to be able to inherit these Trump followers and have been willing to put the country through this in order to accomplish that. Look, I hope that our system will ultimately hold people accountable in one way or another. But what we've seen again and again is that has not happened. So let's hope this time's different. I know that Joe Biden, when he is sworn in, is going to work very hard to heal the country, to bring people together. These Republican senators are making that task all the more difficult.
So let's stick with accountability here and looking ahead and how we move ahead as a country. You have 2 House Democrats that have written a letter to FBI Director Christopher Wray asking to open up an investigation into the phone call made to the Georgia Secretary of State by the president, the phone call that we all heard and read the transcript of from over the weekend. Do you agree with this move, or do you think it is time for the country to heal and move on?
No, I think an investigation is warranted. And of course, there are already ongoing investigations into the president's misconduct on both the criminal front and on the civil front. And I do believe that in order to send a message that this undemocratic conduct is unacceptable, people need to be held accountable. And that is one way of doing it. Now, of course, a future Justice Department will have to make a decision as to whether to proceed. One thing we know about the incoming president, Joe Biden, is that he will ensure an independent attorney general and will have nothing to do with that kind of decision. But I do think we need more systems to hold people accountable. This is unprecedented to see a a statement from former secretaries of defense, including Secretary Cheney and Secretary Mattis and Secretary Rumsfeld, making it clear that essentially an attempted coup by the president is unacceptable. What have we come to in this country? We definitely need more accountability in our system.
I think there's a lot of Americans asking themselves that question daily. What have we come to as a country? Senator Chris Van Hollen, thank you. Appreciate your time today.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.